You're on a walk. Everything is fine. Then someone rounds the corner, a stranger, maybe with a hood up or a bag in their hand, and your dog explodes. Barking, lunging, showing teeth. And you are standing there, leash burning through your hands, apologizing to someone you've never met while your dog looks like it belongs on a warning sign. Here's the hard truth. Your dog isn't broken. But if you keep misreading what's happening in those moments, the behavior will not stay manageable. It will escalate. And then you will not just be embarrassed. You'll be facing real consequences. Let us talk about something a lot of dog owners feel, but rarely say out loud. That mix of shame and genuine fear when your dog reacts to strangers. You love this animal deeply. You've done everything you thought you were supposed to do, socialized them as a puppy, took them to the park, let people pet them. And somehow you ended up here. A dog that growls at delivery drivers. A dog that lunges at joggers. A dog that makes people cross the street to avoid you. And the worst part isn't the embarrassment, though that's real. The worst part is the quiet voice in the back of your head asking, what if it gets worse? What if someone gets hurt? What if I am forced to make a decision I cannot come back from? I want you to stay with that feeling for a second, because it is important. That fear you are carrying is actually one of the most responsible things about you as a dog owner. It means you are taking this seriously. And that's exactly where we need to start. In this video, we are going to break down what's actually driving your dog's aggression towards strangers, not the surface behavior, but the real mechanism underneath. We're going to look at what fear-based aggression actually is, why it escalates if you handle it the wrong way, and what a real management and behavior change plan looks like. Step by step. No sugarcoating. Before we get into solutions, we need to get one thing straight, and this might be the most important reframe in this entire video. Your dog is not aggressive because it is dominant. It's not aggressive because it is bad, or because it hates people, or because something is fundamentally wrong with it. In the vast majority of cases, when a dog reacts aggressively toward strangers, it is doing so out of fear. And fear-based aggression is one of the most misunderstood things in dog behavior. Here's how it works. Your dog encounters a stranger. Something about that person triggers a threat response in their brain. Maybe it is the way the person is moving. Maybe it is a hat, an umbrella, a beard, a stroller. Maybe it is just the unpredictability of someone they've never met. And the moment that threat response activates, your dog has three options: freeze, flee, or fight. When a dog is on leash, fleeing isn't possible. So they skip straight to fight. Barking, lunging, growling, it is not a power play. It's a panic response. Your dog is terrified, and it is doing the only thing that feels like it is working. And here's the part that makes this so important to understand. It is working from your dog's perspective. The stranger eventually moves away, right? The jogger passes. The delivery driver leaves, and your dog's brain logs that as a win. I barked and lunged, and the threat went away. I'll do that again. Every single time that cycle completes, the behavior gets more deeply wired. That's not stubbornness. That's learning. Short start. So when people say, my dog is aggressive, what they usually mean is, my dog is terrified and has learned that aggression makes the scary thing go away. That's a completely different problem than a dog that wants to dominate or attack, and it requires a completely different solution. You cannot punish fear out of a dog. You cannot alpha roll your way to a dog that trusts strangers. You have to change what the stranger means to your dog at a neurological level. Short end. Now let us talk about the escalation timeline, because this is where the legal and safety reality comes in. Fear-based aggression doesn't stay static. It moves through stages. In the early stages, you might see stiffening, staring, a low growl. These are what trainers call distance-increasing signals. Your dog's way of saying, please back off, I am uncomfortable. If those signals are repeatedly ignored by strangers who do not read dog body language, or by owners who correct the growl instead of addressing the cause, the dog learns that soft warnings do not work, so it skips them. It goes straight to the lunge, straight to the snap, and eventually to contact. This is why trainers say never punish a growl. The growl is communication. It's your dog giving you and others a warning. When you punish that warning away, you do not remove the fear. You just remove the signal. And a dog that bites without warning is genuinely dangerous in a way that a dog with a clear warning system is not. So what do you actually do? Let us build this out properly. Step 1. Accurate assessment. Before you do anything else, you need to understand your dog's specific trigger profile. Not all reactive dogs are the same. Some react to men specifically. Some react to fast-moving people. Some react to direct eye contact. Some react to people with accessories, hats, sunglasses, backpacks. Some only react when on leash. Some react in certain environments and not others. Spend 1 week just observing and logging. Not correcting, not redirecting, just watching. Write down what was happening the moment before the reaction started. The distance, the type of person, what they were doing, the environment. This pattern data is gold. Because once you know what specifically triggers your dog, you can begin to work with it systematically. Step 2. Understand threshold distance. Threshold is the distance at which your dog first notices a trigger but hasn't yet reacted. It's that moment of alertness, ears forward, body tense, but no explosion yet. This is your working zone. Everything you are about to do happens at or just beyond this threshold. If you are inside the threshold, your dog is already in fight or flight mode and cannot learn. They're not processing information. They're just reacting. This is why so many well-intentioned training sessions fail. People try to work on reactivity by putting their dog up close to the thing that terrifies them. And then they are confused when their dog cannot focus. It's because you are asking someone in the middle of a panic attack to do algebra. Find that distance where your dog notices the stranger but hasn't yet erupted. That's where the work begins. Step 3. Counter-conditioning. This is the core mechanism of behavior change for fear-based aggression, and it is simpler than it sounds. The goal is to change the emotional response your dog has to strangers at a neurological level, not just to suppress the behavior, but to actually rewire what a stranger predicts. Right now, stranger equals threat. You want stranger to equal something good, something your dog genuinely loves. And the way you do this is through repetition, timing, and high-value reinforcement. Here's the practical setup. You're at threshold distance from a stranger. Let us say someone is standing across a parking lot. The moment your dog notices that person and before any reaction starts, you mark the moment with a word or a click and immediately deliver a high-value reward. Real food. Something your dog goes crazy for, not kibble. We're talking chicken, cheese, real meat. You do this repeatedly. Stranger appears, reward happens. Stranger appears, reward happens. Over dozens and then hundreds of repetitions, your dog's brain begins to build a new association. Stranger doesn't predict danger. Stranger predicts good things. That's counter-conditioning. It's not a trick. It's neuroscience. Short start here is what this looks like in real life. You're in a parking lot. Someone walks out of a store maybe 30 meters away. Your dog's ears go up. Before anything else happens, before the bark, before the lunge, you say yes and hand over a piece of chicken. Your dog looks at you, looks at the person, looks back at you. That's the shift you are looking for. That moment of wait, is that person actually good? That's your dog's brain starting to rewrite the story. Short end, step 4, desensitization. Counter-conditioning and desensitization work together, but they are not the same thing. Desensitization means very gradually decreasing the distance to the trigger over time, but only as fast as your dog can handle without going over threshold. The key word here is gradually. We're not flooding. We're not forcing exposure. We're moving in tiny increments, over weeks and months if necessary, letting your dog build confidence at each distance before moving closer. A common mistake is moving too fast. Your dog does great at 30 meters for 3 sessions, and you think, great, let us try 15. And then your dog explodes, and you feel like you've lost all your progress. You haven't. You just moved too fast. Go back to where they were successful and stay there longer. Step 5. Management between sessions. This is the piece most people underestimate. Your training sessions are building new neural pathways. But every time your dog goes over threshold and completes the fear-aggression cycle, bark, lunge, stranger leaves, dog feels relief. It reinforces the old pathway. So between formal training sessions, your job is to manage the environment to prevent those explosions from happening. That means crossing the street before you hit threshold distance. It means walking at off-peak hours. It means using a different route when you know the neighbor with the hat walks his dog at 7 a.m. It might mean a front clip harness or a head halter to give you more physical control. Management isn't failure. Management is protecting your training investment. Step 6. Build engagement and a strong default behavior. One of the most powerful tools you can develop is a dog that automatically checks in with you when it sees something unfamiliar. Not because you asked for it, but because checking in with you is what they've learned to do. This is sometimes called a default look or auto-watch. You build this by rewarding check-ins obsessively in low-distraction environments first. Every time your dog looks at you voluntarily, reward it. Then proof it in slightly more distracting environments. Then, in environments with strangers at a distance. Over time, the moment your dog notices a stranger, its first instinct becomes to look at you because that's what has paid off consistently. And a dog that's looking at you is not lunging at someone. Step 7, know when to bring in a professional. If your dog has made contact, bitten someone, even lightly, you need a qualified professional. Not a pack leader-style trainer who will use punishment to suppress the behavior. You need someone who works with behavior modification, ideally someone with credentials in applied animal behavior. Suppressing fear-based aggression with punishment is one of the most dangerous things you can do. You push the pressure down, the fear stays, and the dog bites without warning. If you are in a situation where the behavior feels unmanageable or unsafe, talk to your vet as well. In some cases, behavioral medication can reduce the dog's baseline anxiety enough that behavior modification actually has room to work. Medication alone will not fix this, but medication plus behavior modification can change a trajectory that felt hopeless. Now let us come back to where we started. That moment on the walk, the stranger, the explosion, the shame. What you now know that you didn't know before is this. That explosion wasn't your dog choosing violence. It was your dog choosing the only coping mechanism it had for something it found genuinely terrifying. And every time you handle that moment differently, calmly, strategically, with an understanding of what your dog actually needs, you are writing a new story. A slower story, sometimes a frustrating one, but one that ends somewhere completely different. If this video gave you a clearer picture of what's actually going on with your dog, the next step is to start watching. Seriously, before anything else, just watch. Observe your dog around strangers without trying to fix anything yet. Map the triggers. Note the distance. Because the more precisely you understand the problem, the more precisely you can address it. And share this with someone you know who's dealing with a reactive dog, because most people are carrying this alone, and they do not have to be. The comments are open if you want to talk through what you are seeing with your own dog. I read them. Thanks for watching. If you loved this video, scan the QR code on the screen right now to subscribe and join the Pawsome Life family. Give your dog a belly rub for us, and we will see you in the next video.